All right, I'm going to show you 8 unsaturated niches that nobody is targeting. I did a ton of research trying to find these niches, and they are unsaturated. No one's targeting them. I haven't barely heard anybody targeting them. They make good money, so they're making $80,000 plus per year. So they should have disposable income, and there's over 10,000 of them in the United States, and they're pretty easy to reach out to. So now the thing with niches, a lot of people have the wrong idea with niches. They think that they just need to stick to one niche for a whole year or need to stick to the one niche for the rest of their life. I started in pest control. If I would have sticked in pest control, I would be broke right now because it was not a good niche to reach out to. So that advice is the wrong advice. Now, the thing is with marketing, we need to constantly be testing things all the time. And so that means constantly testing different ads, different ways of emailing people, different ways of reaching out to them, all that stuff. All the time to testing new things. But people, for some weird reason, they do not apply that philosophy to the markets that you're reaching out to. And so they only apply that to the ads. So Facebook did a study. The ad accounts that are doing the best are testing 11 times more than anybody else. So why don't we apply that to every part of marketing as a whole? And like I said, if I were to stick to pest control companies, I would still be broke, right? But if you test 11 different industries, you can know which one has more money, which one's easier to sell to, which one's easier to reach out to, which one's easier to fulfill on, rather than just going into one industry and then just being miserable for the rest of your life because you're targeting one industry because some other guru that was retarded told you that, okay? So just keep that in mind. Awesome. And then with these niches, I had a guy that was targeting, one saturated niche and he wasn't getting very good results. I told him not to target that niche, but then I told him, hey, you should try targeting other niches and use these. I gave him some unsaturated niches that he should target. He made $50,000 in 2 weeks targeting those unsaturated niches. So try to target multiple niches. Now, when we're reaching out to the niche, we want to speak directly to them. That's the thing. I think that's what people don't do. A lot of people will say, I help everybody do marketing, right? Because they think that they're going to be able to target more people that way. That's what you don't want to do, right? We don't want to say I help everybody do marketing. We want to seem like we're speaking directly to that industry or to that specific person. So if I'm reaching out to pest control companies, I want to say I can help you get 10 bedbug heat treatments per month, right? That speaks directly to them. If I'm reaching out to a plumber, I would say I can help you get 10 hot water heater repairs per month. That speaks directly to the plumber. Cool? So within each of these industries, speak directly to them, but we can target multiple at a time. Awesome. All right. First up, architects. So within this, I did a ton of research. There's links to different articles, different things I found, links to getting lead lists, stuff like that. You'll have access to this. If you want access to this, there will be a link, the first link in the description below. You can access this. You can just fill out a form and you will get an email with all this information with this entire sheet so that you can use this yourself if you want to. Now, on a LinkedIn search, I found 128,000 contacts, 150,000 total throughout the world, or at least throughout America, architects, at least that's what I found. They make about $100,000 annual revenue. These are people that have their own firms, not people that are just starting out. People that are just starting out make about 50 grand a year. So outreach strategies, email, SMS, LinkedIn, and calling work pretty well. You can also try Instagram and Facebook. It just might be hard to find the actual architect on Instagram because if you're just looking up hashtag architecture, it's just a whole bunch of random people posting like really cool hotels or something like that, So, all right, market research. Here's what I found. If you want to find people that have their own firm and have been licensed for like 5 years or so, these are the people that are actually making good money. A small firm can take about 15 projects per year. Some do 30 plus projects per year, and others only do 3 projects per year. Depends on what kind of projects they do and also how good they are at marketing, right? And so the ones that are doing 3 per year, usually they're doing huge commercial projects that are worth millions of dollars. Others that are doing 15, 30 per year are doing like small residential houses, stuff like that. What they want is more either commercial projects, mid-sized commercial projects, or high-end residential projects. Now, all these have links to them, so you can, this is where the information, what I found about the industry, you can find here. Some of the industries don't have links because this is just stuff I know about the industry myself, but this is the research I've done within this industry. So again, they want high-end residential projects or mid-sized commercial projects. The reason they don't want like low-end or small houses, residential houses, is because a lot of times it's the owner that's on a budget. They want everything included and they have a lot of emotional connection within the house, right? So they want everything to be perfect. There's tons of revisions. Just a lot of emotions are high with those projects. But if it's a luxury house, then they have the money to do whatever they want, so they can, and it's less emotions that are involved. If it's a mid-size commercial project, it's really just about cutting costs, so it doesn't have any emotion involved at all. So the average home in America is about 2,000 square feet. They charge about $2 to $5 per square foot. So it's about $4,000 to $10,000 per project they take on, and that's for a normal residential house. You can also do, obviously, huge residential houses or a huge resident or commercial projects, stuff like that. Cool? All right, that's architects. Now, I did create outreach messages for each of these individual industries, outreach messages that I know will work. And I also set out all the strategies that you can use to fulfill for them. So whether or not you should do SEO or database reactivation or cold outreach for them, right? Or Facebook ads. I created all those strategies and I built them all out, the offers that you should use. I'm not going to give you access to all that because it took me a lot of time to build all that out. But if you want access to that full sheet and you want me to help you build out a system to consistently get 120 sales calls per month on autopilot, I create the campaigns for you. We script the leads for you. We help you one-on-one. You can book a call with me anytime that you need one-on-one with me. And if it doesn't work, we pay you $3,000. So if you're interested in that, you can book a call with me directly below and we'll just keep going. Cool? Awesome. So that's architects. Next one, pretty interesting one, churches. You might not think churches is a viable option, but I'll tell you why it is a viable option. On a LinkedIn search, I found 240,000 pastors. There's 380,000 churches total throughout the United States alone. Okay. Now this can also apply to mosques, to temples, to whatever religion. Churches are just the most prominent in the United States. You can also do Mexico, or if you're in the Middle East, I don't know how it works, right? But at least in churches in America, to what I know, there's tons of them. They're on every street corner. They make $240,000 annually. And that is on average, right? So that means there's tons of churches making way more than that, right? There's also churches making way less than that, but that's a crazy amount for annual revenue on average. Email, SMS, LinkedIn, calling, Facebook, Instagram works well for these industries, or for the churches, I guess. Basically, any strategy works because they're really trying to promote themselves everywhere. I'm sure there's Facebook groups about pastors, or like pastor Facebook group, right? But you can do a Facebook business page where you just look up churches around me. And you'll find all the churches around you. They all have Facebook business pages. They also have their phone number. Usually the churches that are smaller, like 100 members, let's say 75 to 100 members, they'll have the pastor's number right there, right? So you can reach out directly to the decision maker, stuff like that. Pretty interesting. It might seem unethical to sell to churches, but I'm going to tell you why it's not unethical, right? Churches have very little overhead. All they're really paying for is the pastor, sometimes a music director. Everyone else is a volunteer. And they're usually nonprofit organizations, right? They can't really have too many, well, I guess they can have as many employees as they want to, but they can't really make a ton of money profit because they're nonprofit, right? So they have to get rid of their money somehow. So the way that they get rid of their money is they try to do campaigns to get more people to come in the door. They'll do block parties. They'll do vacation Bible school. They'll spend a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars on these things. I can promise you that, bro. They spend tens of thousands of dollars on these different campaigns. And so to try to get more people in the door. And if they don't do that, they'll spend money on building the building, making it better, new parking lots, stuff like that. Or any excess money left over, they give to other nonprofit organizations. So charities, people in Africa, all that jazz, right? And so they have a lot of money to give because people give the money to them. And really what they're looking for is spreading the gospel, getting butts in seats, all right? So if you can help them get new butts in seats, they would be happy to pay you for that. I had one guy that was selling Facebook ads to churches. It was pretty easy for him to target the churches, pretty easy for him to sell this system. It was a crazy system on how it works. Again, I cannot give it away for free, but I will give it within the full sheet that I have to anyone that's in my group. And it was a really good system for targeting churches. And he basically was having a really unique way of getting newcomers in the door by like having a freebie offer. Basically, it was pretty cool. I created an outreach message specifically for them, and we can help you create campaigns as well if you're interested. You can book a call below. Right? Furniture stores. Next up, furniture. 140,000. This was weird. Okay, so I looked up on LinkedIn. 143,000 of them on here. Owner, founder, CEO with the keyword furniture. But when I looked it up on just on Google, it said there was only 50,000 furniture stores total. I might believe that number more, the 50,000. There's a ton of furniture stores like everywhere, right? There's obviously the furniture stores that are like franchised, or like there's Ashley Home Furniture, which I think like there's a ton of those. Ashley Home, or Elder Beerman used to be a big one. It's not really in business anymore, but furniture stores that have multiple locations, kind of like McDonald's. But there's a ton of like just independent furniture stores all throughout the United States. Cool. All right. So strategies to reach out to them: email, SMS, LinkedIn, calling, and Facebook. Maybe LinkedIn, not really, but market research. All right. They make good profit margin off of each product. So they do about 100% markup off of each individual item. So they're selling something for, or they bought something for $100, they're selling it for $200. A lot of times it's more than that. So it's 200 to 350%. So they're buying it for $100, they're selling it for $350. A lot of times though, the furniture is expensive, like it's $1,000 they bought it for, they're selling it for $3,500. And so a lot of people want to do payments, right? So they want to, pay it over the course of the next 12 months. And so that's why they charge so much, because, people will default on their payments, they won't, all that jazz. So that's why they have to charge so much. If people are willing to give the money up front or pay for the entire item up front, they'll give you a discount for buying up front. What they want to sell more of is dressers and dining room tables. Now, they want to sell more of everything, right? But I think those are the easiest to move, are dressers and dining room tables. Couches can be easiest to move in terms of like easiest to sell are those, right? Not actually easiest to like pick up and move. No pun intended, I guess. And they also sell a lot of mattresses. I also included mattresses within this search right here. Mattress stores probably isn't the best fit. They don't make it, they're smaller, they don't make as much money, and they're only selling mattresses, right? With the furniture stores, we have a lot of options to choose from. We can do the chairs, we can do the couches, we can do the lazy boy chairs, whatever, right? All that stuff, right? So honestly, this industry isn't too hard to understand, and it really should be easy to get into. I know some people that have furniture stores, they make really good money doing that, and the marketing is actually pretty simple. And so I created an outreach message, and I show you the marketing, what you can do to actually help them. And the full sheet. Cool. All right. Asphalt Pavers. There's about 16,000 on LinkedIn, but 100,000 total. This is one of the industries where like they don't really put themselves on LinkedIn a lot. So I said LinkedIn maybe, but I really don't think it would work too well. Honestly, SMS, calling, and Facebook will probably be your best options for these pavers. Maybe even Instagram. Probably not though. They make anywhere between 75,000 and 150,000 annual revenue. Sometimes less than that, and I'll get into that. So there are asphalt pavers or asphalt companies that will basically do an entire driveway for you. So they'll rip up your driveway and they'll put in a new driveway. Those cost $10,000 usually, 20-30% profit. So they're making about $2,000 to $3,000 profit off of that. Pretty good profit margins, very good business. There's also seal coating. This is just when they're putting a top layer of seal coat on top of the driveway, and you're not actually paving a new driveway, right? And this is only for specific like asphalt driveways. There's concrete driveways, different types of driveways. But they're basically just spraying on a seal coat, right? And with all these, something to note, with all these industries, most of them have an influencer, and I have some videos in here, but when I was going through this industry, I found a few influencers that they were selling to how to start a asphalt paving business or how to start a seal coating business, stuff like that. And so you can look at those people, look how they're selling it, what they're saying in their videos, which videos have the most views. That's a really good way of finding people that are actually successful, or like what will actually work for the industry is by just finding an influencer and then seeing what works and what didn't work for them. Because you can go through all the videos and you'll have videos that have 100 views and have videos that have hundreds of thousands of views. And so that you'll know, which one's performing better, right? And so you can kind of just copy them, which is great. So you can look into this industry. I did not link anyone in here, unfortunately, but there are some other ones where I did link, and you can find influencers within each individual industry. So seal coating is less money. They usually make around $500 per driveway, about 40%, 50% profit. So they're making like $200 off of a driveway. Pretty good. It is less money. It is one-man band. They're probably not making as much money total overall or whatever. But if they can make $500 or $250 per day, they're pretty happy. Or if they can get 2 seal coating jobs making $500 a day profit, they're pretty happy. That's $1,000 in, $500 profit, right? So they'd be really happy with that if you can actually help them. It might be hard to sell to the individuals. It might be easier to sell to like the actual asphalt companies, the ones that are redoing driveways for commercial buildings. That's actually a really good offer. Hey, we can help you get more commercial driveways or more commercial parking lot repairs if you're interested, So yeah, just a good industry to reach out to and try. Next up, nail salons. Now, online, I found about 26,000 nail salons and 25,000 hair salons, but there's about 175,000 of them total. At least that's what I found. They make about 75,000 to $150,000 annual revenue. SMS calling, Facebook, Instagram, maybe email would work. Instagram also can be hard because if you do hashtag nail or hashtag nail salon, one of it is just a lot of girls like posting their nails, or there's a lot of nail techs, which is the individual person that's like making the nails. They post their stuff on there too. I dated a girl who was a nail tech, so I know a lot about the industry. All right. Online, the numbers were all weird. Some of them said they made $50,000 a year. Some people said they made $150,000 per year. There's also places that said there's 175,000 nail salons, but there's others that said there was 1 million nail salons. I think there's maybe like 1 million nail techs and hair stylists in America. And so you can sell to the individual ones. I knew a guy that was selling to the individual nail techs or hair specialists, hair stylists, whatever. And he said he helped his wife get to $200,000 per year as a nail tech, and he was helping other people do that. So that can be a viable option. But I'd rather you sell to the nail salon owner because they're making more margins, I guess. So here's how the model works. You have a salon that has about 5 to 10 nail techs, right? This is or hairstylist, right? So there's like booths, everyone's doing their nails. If you're a guy and you're watching this, you have no clue what I'm talking about. So there's about 5 to 10 nail techs, sometimes 15, 20 techs. They all come in whenever. They're 1099 employees. They're not really like W-2 contractors or W-2 employees. So the owner usually splits the profit with them 60-40, and nails can cost anywhere between $60 and $120 for a set. And so usually it's more like $90, $100 to get all your nails done. There's different types of nails. There's like Gel X, there's acrylic, there's just painting on your nails. Obviously, there's also just the press-ons, which are like $5, right? But usually to get it like, the professional nails done, it's about $90, $90 to $120. So, let's just say $100. The nail salon's taking $60. The tech is getting $40. It's kind of the same with any like of these contractor type businesses. Where it's same with massage therapists. There's the spa itself that has 20 massage therapists. They charge $100 per massage. The therapist is making $40. The spa is making $60. So talking to the salon owners. I talked to one salon owner. He said the company makes a lot of money, but there's a ton of expenses, so you don't make as much as you think you make, right? So if they make $50,000, they're not making they're not making the actual $50,000, which is true for every business, obviously. That being said, they do make good money on good months, right? So right now it is around February. So it is around the Valentine's Day season. They're extremely, extremely busy around the Valentine's Day season because every girl thinks that they're about to get proposed to, and so they get really cute nails. Summertime is really popping. January is very dead. After February, like March, April is pretty dead as well. And then obviously Christmas time is super popular as well. So there's good months and bad months. You can catch them on the bad months and say, hey, we'll help you get better months than the bad months, all right? Or you can just catch them on the good months where they're making more money and they have more money to spend. So the problem is they're not super high ticket. I'm trying to give you some industries, like all the other industries, they're mostly high ticket. I guess churches, not, but most of them are, the lifetime value of a customer is over $1,000. The lifetime value of these customers would be, because if they're getting their nails done every 2 months or every month, that is about $1,000 a year or $500 a year. So I guess it can be high ticket, but the cost per nails, $100 is not very high ticket. So you have to really get them a ton, or for it to be viable, be worth it for them, But you can do things like database reactivation and some other marketing strategies I'm not going to get into, which is what I put into what to sell to them and the full sheet in my group. Cool. All right. Treatment centers. There's about 8,000 of them on LinkedIn, 17,000 of them total. Making sure, dude, I recorded this video 3 times, and each time the audio wasn't working or something was screwing up, the camera was not working, and so I just want this to work. I've been sitting here for about an hour trying to record this video. All right, 17,000 of them total, make about $150,000 annual revenue. Email, LinkedIn, calling can work in terms of reaching out to them. Not a ton of outreach strategies. I found this agency, drugrehab.agency, right here, and they specifically target to addiction marketing and consulting, which is weird. Sounds weird, but they help recovery centers get more patients, right? So rehab facilities help alcohol and drug addicts recover and get clean. They usually make money from Medicare, which is government medical insurance, or private insurance paying for the recovery program. Some patients that are at the facility are there against their will due to the legal system forcing them to be there. So some people, like at these lower end ones, there's like higher end facilities where they're just doing private pay or insurance only, like private insurance, not the government assisted insurance. But there's recovery centers where, there's 50 people there, and there's some, like, let's say 10% of the people that are there, 5 to 10 people there, that are there against their will because either they go to the recovery center or they go to jail, or they're going to jail. They just have to go to the recovery center first. And so those can be an issue as well. But they usually want more, they just want more patients, right? They want more people in their facility. They rely a lot on the traditional methods of marketing, like word of mouth. And I could not find too much about the industry, about like what the owners want, what their problems are. I do remember hearing someone having an agency towards rehab centers, and they were having really, really good success within that industry. And obviously I just found this industry, or these agencies that you can kind of do more research about. I kind of went through their market, rehab research, right? Or rehab addiction consulting, right? And they kind of gave all their information right here. So you can really, they show exactly the best, what they use to actually help the clients. They use SEO best practices, SEO for rehab centers, web design, rehab content development, AdWord management, online PR, radio advertising, right? And so you can kind of look at, like I said earlier, you can look at other influencers, other agencies that are doing the same industry as you. Usually there's not a ton of them, but there's a good amount of them. And you can do research and find that they're pretty easy to reach out to, or use what these guys do to your advantage and just copy them, really, and just do it better. So, all right. A lot of them are nonprofits, so some of them don't make like almost any money. But according to my research, the owners usually do make pretty good money. Cool. All right, next up, bankruptcy attorneys. There's about 27,000 on LinkedIn, 12,000 total. Now, the reason there's like inconsistency there is because usually an attorney, they do like multiple different types of law. So, on LinkedIn, they say, oh, we do bankruptcy, and we do blah, and we do blah, and we do blah. Right. So there's probably 12,000 people that just specifically do bankruptcy. But then there's other attorneys that they practice in several different fields. They make about $150,000 total annual revenue, and outreach strategies are email, calling, or LinkedIn. Now, a small firm can do about 10 to, or maybe even Facebook can also work. I don't think there's a Facebook. Maybe there is a Facebook group about bankruptcy attorneys, but probably not. Small firm can do about 10 to 15 per month as one individual. Sorry, they get paid by companies that are about to go out of businesses. They try to get paid before doing all the work. The companies usually have money in the bank, like the businesses that are going out of business. They have money in the bank, but they usually just have too much debt to keep the business going. So they use whatever cash they have left in their cash reserves to pay the bankruptcy attorney and to get the bankruptcy, I don't know what this is weird, bankruptcy is attorney to minimize their debts and to make sure that they're not left with any liabilities. And so if you're going out of business, the owner can be liable. Well, that's why you have an LLC, so that you're not liable for any debts, whatever that. And so the attorney is there just to make sure that you're not liable for those things, right? Most attorneys can practice in multiple different industries. Like I said, bankruptcy just being one of them. I did some market research when I was first starting, and I found it was pretty easy to reach out to the attorneys. They said they just wanted more businesses that were going out of business. They really do prey on people's downfall, and they thrive in downturn markets, right? So when the market's good, usually they're not really happy because they're not getting a ton of bankruptcies. But when the market is bad and people are going out of business, that's actually really good for them because they're making a ton of money in those times, which is weird, right? They're the only people making money during downturns. There are different types of bankruptcies. Chapter 7 is when you're trying to get rid of everything and pay as little as possible. So you're just trying to, minimize your debts and all that jazz. And Chapter 13 is when you're trying to reconsolidate your debts. This means that, maybe you have, let's say, $200,000 in debt and several different, with several different lenders, and you're just trying to renegotiate with all the lenders, saying, hey, I cannot pay you 5% plus on a 5-year. I can do 3% on a 10-year if you can do that, and so they try to renegotiate some of the deals. And so some of the Chapter 13s can take 3 to 5 years. You're basically, you have them as a client for a long time, but the Chapter 7s are pretty quick, and you just kind of get rid of them, get them done pretty quickly. And that's the ones you can do like 10 to 15 per month is the Chapter 7s. Cool. Awesome. Next up, home health care. There is 50,000 of them on LinkedIn. Now there's 100 or 11,000 total. Some sources say 11,000, some say 400,000. There are 50,000 contacts on LinkedIn, so I don't really know. I think it might be closer to the, let's just say 20,000 range. They make between 45,000 and 101,000 annual revenue. Just some numbers I found, but there are some really big ones where they make hundreds of thousands per week. So I know this. My dad works in home health care, and hi, Dad, if you're watching, I love you. Anyways, reaching out to them are SMS calling, email, and LinkedIn. So market research. I know a lot about the industry because, again, I have family that works in it. My mom also did some of this when she was doing nursing. So home healthcare is companies that just help people that are special needs or that they're just elderly. Basically, they're just someone that's there to watch over them. There are home healthcare companies that do medical, which is like having an actual nurse sit with you. And then there's the non-medical where you don't have to have any sort of medical degree. There's obviously tests that you have to take, but you can just help elderly people. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to practice medicine in order to work in this environment, right? It's kind of like just having a nurse in your home. Some healthcare agencies have their own homes where you can live in their home, right? And there's 3 to 4 people that are in that home. Or there's a lot of healthcare agencies that they just go to your home and one person goes to your home and they just sit there for 12 hours. And then somebody else comes in for 12 hours and they just, around the clock sitting with you. They make money and some of the same ways that the treatment centers do. So there is Medicare, which is the government assisted pay, where the government's paying so much per hour for you to sit there. There's also private pay clients. These are people that are paying out of pocket. I believe the healthcare companies would rather have the private pay clients, but I do know that the government does pay pretty well. So the government pays $25 to I think $35 per hour, and they're paying the employees about $14 per hour to sit there, right? So they're just making money in the middle. So they're paying you $15, they're making $30, making $15 per hour profit. Obviously there's overhead and all that jazz, but yeah, that's how it usually works. I found a guy on YouTube promoting how he gets private pay clients for blah, 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 blah. He does Google Ads and SEO. It had some good views, and there are several influencers that teach how to grow a successful healthcare company to millions of dollars, or home healthcare company. And so you can look at, like I said, some of the other influencers. There's a link here to this one guy. There were several ladies that I found that were like showing you how to start one, and they go over how much money you need to start out, how to get clients, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So again, if you want me to help you, I created outreach messages for all these individual industries. If you want access to those outreach messages and to the strategies that you can use to get the clients for these companies or help these clients out, the offers that you can use for these industries, and you want me to help you set up the campaigns to get you 120 sales calls per month on autopilot, and if it doesn't work, I pay you $3,000. If you're interested in that, again, you can book a call below. We script the leads for you. You have one calls with me anytime you need it, and my team helps you set up any of the campaigns. So if you're interested, again, book a call below. Also, here's some stuff, a little other entries. I didn't do a ton of research on these, but private schools, like trade schools, I think would be a really good one. They're always doing advertising. Estate planning lawyers. Also, family law can be a good one too. They don't really want divorces. They want more, what do they want more of? They want more adoptions, right? So if you can reach out to family law, pitching them adoptions, they'd be really interested in that. Flooring and drywall as well. So that's some different industries you can try. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Again, if you want this full sheet and you want me to help you build out a campaign, you can book a call with me below. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys soon.